Hello and welcome to Curve Theatre. We are here today, East Midlands Theatre. This is Lisa Chamberlain, I'm Phil Lowe. This is actress Jessica Daley, who's playing Billy Elliot's mum in the show, and we've just come out on a break. We've been watching a fantastic rehearsal this morning, very dynamic, wonderful and exciting drama, and we can't wait to come and see it. So, hi Jessica.
Hi, you alright?
Yeah, we're good, we're good. How are you?
I'm good, yeah, good.
Are you enjoying playing the mum?
Oh my gosh, yes. I am. Yeah, it means a lot. It's quite an emotional one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. Yeah.
You've got a song called The Letter, haven't you? Where you appear, because you're not live on stage, you're actually a dead person on stage.
I'm in the past.
In the past.
Yeah, no, I come back as Billy kind of still imagines his mum's there at various points in the show, and yeah, I come back and kind of pay him a visit a few times, and yeah, it's really beautiful actually. It's really, really beautiful. But that particular song, The Letter, is
heartbreak for that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm the same. Well, just a tiny personal thing. My mum died when I was about sort of the character Billy's age.
Yeah.
So I can really, I'm sure there's thousands of people out there who can understand it all and really get something from it. But certainly me and my mum died of a brain tumour, and I was 9 and I was an only child and things. So just watching that and having listened to it on the soundtrack, the official soundtrack, and watching the DVD and seeing the film, of course, but it hasn't got the songs in. It's real, as you say.
Yeah.
It's good. So you've got 2 sections in the show.
3 actually.
3 sections.
3 times, yeah.
Oh wow, good.
Yeah.
Are you in it anymore?
Yes. So we kind of I double up, and I have a community member character that I've created, and her name is Jean.
Okay.
Whenever I'm in a show that I'm cast as an unnamed character, I always use the name Jean. So Jean's had she's had lots of different lives in different shows, and yeah, she's a community member in the 80s here, so Jean's quite fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you think about that? Why is that good?
I just like the idea of Jean being transported from show to show.
Yeah, bit of a chameleon. She's what has she been? She's been a nun in The Sound of Music. Jean, Sister Jean, and what else? I can't think. There's lots of different versions.
Jeans.
Of her, but Jean is Jeans. Oh, Les Mis, Factory Girl. Yes,
Jean.
Jeannie, the Factory Girl.
As she's known as
Jeannie. Yeah, she's good. She's back in this one. Yeah.
Brilliant. And the cast, what do you feel about the?
Oh my gosh, they're
cast?
I mean, talent aside, they're just such a lovely bunch of humans, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be in the room with them creating. And I think we've had a few hurdles along the way, I mean, with COVID and stuff like that, and I think we've been very fortunate with the cast that we've got. We all get on really well, and we all have a laugh, and yeah, it's just a really warm rehearsal room, and I think with a severe lack of ego, everybody just really passionate about the piece. And I think because there are a majority, it's a northern cast, so it means quite a lot.
You're from Macclesfield, am I right? Middlesbrough. It began with M.
Yeah.
And not so far from Easington, where it's placed.
Not too far, no, about 45 minutes in the car. So, and there's all the northerners in the cast, northeast people in the cast are kind of dotted around within that area. So we all have different kind of connections to the piece in different ways. And I mean, I know I haven't got necessarily a connection to the mining industry, but similarly and more recently, things that were going on in Middlesbrough with the steelworks closing down and how that affected the community. It's kind of similar themes, so it's not been too hard to kind of tap into that and what that means, and to our identity as people from the northeast. Actually, like, the industry has been a very big thing. So yeah, it's we're all kind of passionate about it, and the southern actors in the cast too, they've all got their connection to it. So yeah, I think we're all very passionate about the story and what it represents, and I think it's been a big collaboration as opposed to you go there, you do that. We've all been very vocal with our opinions and contributed to it. So it feels like we've all made it together, actually,
So they say, it's a cliche, but they say never work with children
or animals.
How has it been working with the young people?
I mean, those Billies, I mean, especially in the moments where I'm the mum, not mum, mum. I've actually, I was like, we need to change that in the programme. Mum. When I play Billy's mum, those moments of connecting to the boys who play Billy, they're so individual. There's 4 Billies and they're so different and they all bring something completely unique. So it actually, I said this to me and Sally Ann Triplet, had a chat about this, because obviously she is also working very closely, more so with the Billies, but we just get different things from different Billies, and it's really refreshing to go in and be like, oh, which Billy have we got? Oh, cool, yeah, and you react to what they're giving you, and they each give something completely different. They have different emotional reactions to you, and it keeps you on your toes.
Never going to become stale, is it?
No. I mean, there's a lot of kids in the show, and each of them are different characters. So yeah, it's very different. They're each very different, and they contribute something different. And it's just about being in the moment and present and reacting to what they're giving you. And it's just wonderful for it to be like that. I think it's, especially in longer running shows, usually it's nice because it does keep you on your toes. But yeah, it's really cool.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. I noticed from one of I was looking at your tweets earlier on.
There's a lot of them.
And you mentioned, I think I know that happens a lot here at Curve, because they're so, maybe other theatres too, they're so keen on the cast really getting to grips with the story and the backstory on everything. And on your tweet you said something like, today we've all been learning about the Tories at the time and how they twisted everything during the miners' strike to make it sound like everything was the workers' fault. And that's interesting.
Yeah, it's been playing out in real time at the moment. I mean, you can see the difference between what strikes represented back then. They were for the people, and they created a lot of change, and it's still to this day I keep seeing, I keep reposting on Instagram like what the strikes have got us in the past, and they've been very successful in creating great change. And I think Margaret Thatcher started, as I say, the kind of turning of the narrative of strikes, and it's more so about, when we think about society today compared to back then, everything was done from a socialist point of view of trying to create change for everyone. And nowadays it seems much more individualistic and more for the individual, and like with social media it's all about selling you as a person, and everything is surrounded by based on the individual. And I think you see it in real time. The real strikes are happening this week. People are like, but I can't get to work, and I can't get to this, and I, as opposed to this will create change for everybody in the future. It will improve the railway lines for everybody, and it will benefit everybody. But yeah, the idea of that narrative is, you can see it playing out. The seed was planted back then, and it's playing out in real time now, and I just find it absolutely fascinating. Yeah, it's been very informative in that way.
This is a very general question, really, quite big question. Do you feel that the communities during the times of Billy Elliot, so the 70s going through to the 80s, I suppose it will depend on the area and what brings mass employment, like the mining. Do you think they were a lot closer as individuals and families than perhaps they are now? There's always a talk about your auntie used to live around the corner and your best mate lived across the road.
It still is like that in the northeast, I think. But as I say, as a whole, society has kind of changed more so, in like what I've just said about it all being kind of I think. With social media and stuff like that, that is very present, but still the community feel back home is second to none. Like I always say, when I did Over the Rainbow 12 years ago, and I was on TV every Saturday night. I've never felt support like that before, and that people in my local community rallied together. People I didn't even know, like putting posters up in their shops and in their businesses and telling people to vote for, because I was from the area and I was representing the area on a national scale, and people were really proud of that. And it's happened before me and after me. People have gone on and done great things for the area, and people are very, very supportive. And yeah, that Normanby last Jess, yeah, oh you right, yeah, and like everybody knows what you're doing. And whenever I go home now, people are like, oh, what have you been working on, and are you on a soap yet? And I'm like, no, I'm not, I wish I was. But like, people are interested in how you're doing and how you're getting on. And that's the wonderful thing actually about, that's the one thing I love about going home and being home. And I've been home now over the lockdown. I came back from China of all places just before the pandemic, and ended up staying at home with my mum for 2 years in lockdown, and just being back amongst that and feeling actually the kind of effects of the political landscape on the area. And you know, my area back home turned blue for the first time ever in history, and why is that, and why has that shift happened? And yeah, it's been really, really interesting actually to feel that kind of divide. And being a member of the arts community and living with and working with very liberal people who sometimes don't understand and why my area in the northeast would have done that, and the frustrations, but then seeing how the northeast has been failed by everyone it's been very, very interesting. And I feel like from being home I now empathise with both sides of the argument. And yeah, it's just been very interesting.
So one last question, this is a bit of a weird one, this one. Off the bat question.
All right.
If we could bring contemporary culture into the 1980s culture, who didn't have the internet and all those things.
Yeah.
If Billy's mum didn't pass away, and she had a Twitter account, what do you think? So random, isn't it? What do you think Billy's mum would use a Twitter account for?
That's really random, isn't it? It's interesting though. She reminds me a lot of my mum. I think if she was still around, she'd be very supportive of Billy and his dreams. And my mum was always like that growing up, and she still is to this day. She stalks me on Instagram and whatnot. She'd be like, no, I don't stalk you, but she does. But I think,
I think Billy's mum would like and retweet every single one of his tweets.
In support of, not on an annoying kind of level, I'd like to think. But I think she's very, she's supportive and warm, and there was a reason why that house was kind of the centre of their community. That's the reason why, when I think about the guys come in at the beginning and nick the breakfast, and it's just something they've always done, I picture her as that perfect host that kind of loved everyone, and she was a real kind of centrepiece of the community, and it was a big loss because of that. I feel like she'd be very supportive of people, and I think open to conversation of how things have changed now. I think that's what's been quite eye-opening of being home during the pandemic, and we've seen a lot of change happen, and people are being more inclusive, but people in the northeast I feel like have always been a tiny little bit behind, or in the smaller communities actually, we're always kind of a little bit behind the cities in the sense of social change, and people who are willing to have a conversation, I think that's quite helpful nowadays.
Well, it's been a wonderful conversation with you.
I know I went off on a right tangent there.
No, not at all. No, it's good. It's good. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Both I'm coming to review it for What's on Stage.
Woo!
Very excited. And Lisa's going to be my plus one, aren't you? So there we go. And we've got Catherine McCauley, who's coming as well. I know she likes your things that you do. And she's reviewing for East Midlands Theatre.
Amazing.
So on behalf of us all, thank you very much, and we'll see you back in the rehearsal room.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.